Hello, hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Please take a seat by the fire and warm up on these cold winter nights. Welcome in, Clever. Always lovely to have you, and welcome in as well, Lancelot. I hope you're all doing well. I was gonna stream yesterday, and it feels like I say this a lot during the weekends that I intend to stream Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday. But unfortunately, I was a little bit sick last night. I'm still not the not the best uh, right now. Just it's not even that I'm like sniffly or anything, or like I have a sick feeling in my stomach. It's all in my throat. I think I have a slight infection in my tonsils or whatever it is. Something going on there, and it's just making my throat sore. But I took some stuff beforehand. I grabbed some herbs and some medicinal plants from around the forests and made a nice little tea, and it seems to have soothed my throat somewhat, at least. But but at the very least, I am feeling a little bit better. But what I'm thinking is because it kind of sucked, my day off. When I woke up this morning, I felt worse, but it actually rapidly improved. Not rapidly, but like after a couple of hours, it improved. But it only improved by the time it was like 3 o'clock or something. So I'm almost like, oh, that's kind of slightly ruined my weekend. And I'm like, do I, do I like, do I just take like a sick day tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Monday? And it's like just like I'll just rest instead. Um, the one thing is that it's not too busy yet, so I imagine like it's not a big deal for me to take. It's not like I'd be putting a load of work on the people. I'm actually quite caught up with my current tasks. Oh, it's all good. Good. Yeah, thank you, Clever, for the heart emote. And yes, I am certainly drinking a lot of water. Well, I'm mainly drinking it as tea. Tea seems to be more soothing for the thing that's currently happening. Rualore. What will I talk about? What will I talk about? Uh, I know. Well, if you haven't found out yet through my name, Ruaquilta, uh, my my human father uh, is was a member of the Fianna. I mentioned before he was second only to Fionn McCool himself. He was Quilta Macronan, or Ronan. Wait, God, it's been quite a long time. I remember Quilta, but oftentimes some of the oh yes, it was Quilta Macronan, and he was one of the few who survived uh, for a long time after the Fianna fell and were destroyed in battle. Uh, it was Quilta, my father, as well as O'Sheen, who had spent much of his time in Tirnanog, a land far away, across the seas where one does not grow old and has abundance of whatever one wishes. By the time they both passed, it had been hundreds of years since the fall of the Fianna, and supposedly, they had met a man by the name of Patrick. He was a bishop from Rome, and they told the stories of the Fianna to him, and in some versions even meet some of the old characters from our stories and from our past. Some of them uh, showing the fatigue of the old world, some of them being baptized in this new worldview, this new religion that this Patrick gave us. I believe these days he is referred to as Saint Patrick. These were some of the last things that Quilta, as well as O'Sheen, did. But I think that'll do us for our lore. Hi, Rua. Welcome in, D. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. Get cozy by the fire. You're like you're an angel, aren't you? So like you could probably I can't imagine angels can get like that cold. Maybe you feel it a little bit, but like I feel like angel blood would keep you warm. Maybe it would have to be extra cold or something. I don't know. But still, get cozy by the fire. Excuse me, I might be clearing my throat a little bit. It's really the sickness I was talking about really sucked because it was like it felt like I constantly had a. I felt like I had something in my throat that I had to swallow, like right at the back, and it just wouldn't go away. It was horrible, but thankfully it was all good. Please, I would like some coal. It's what? 40 degrees Celsius. D. That sounds horrible. I hope you had some kind of mm, excuse me. I hope you had some kind of air conditioning, or some other way to cool down, because if not, oh, you poor girl, that sounds horrible. The phlegmy feeling, it was quite nasty. An angel is probably hot and cold to touch. I like that idea. Actually. That's sort of like a strange sensation. The ice in my coffee melted so fast. Oh, you were trying to have some iced coffee. It's been really cold. The kind of opposite happened to me yesterday. I made some tea. I put it on my desk, and I went to go do something for a couple of minutes, and I came back and it was cold. And I was so disappointed, but I just went and made another cup of tea. Sort of the advantages of being at home, I suppose. I don't have to worry about it. Like I feel bad for you because it was probably like you paid for that, but I hope it was at least refreshing. It's so. I didn't realize it was cold either because I lifted it up by the handle and I didn't expect it to be cold, so I drank it. And I was like, ugh, that was nasty. Was not nice at all. I think me and my kind of group, our family, are coming to the end of our Christmas chocolates. Though I went to check some of the boxes, and 2 of them were empty, but that was because we poured all of them into one box. So we're kind of just picking at them as we go. Welcome in, Demi Bait. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll be doing a little bit of reading later, so if you enjoy that, I would certainly hope you would stick around, but thank you for joining us. But other than that, I've been quite relaxed. I'm enjoying getting back to the gym now. Even though I still feel a little bit unsteady in certain things, I'm definitely taking my time. Not going too heavy just yet, because it can, if you go too heavy too quickly, you'll just injure yourself all over again, and then you're back to square one, probably even further back than where you were since you came back. It does suck though, it's kind of it's like a mental hit, because you even just a month or two ago I could lift a good bit heavier, and go back a good while I could lift even heavier before I started up boxing for a little while. But that was when I was in my really focused working out stage. I lost a bit of strength when I was doing boxing, just because I couldn't dedicate things to boat stuff. It was too much on my body, trying to do 2 to 3 training sessions a week of boxing, and then trying to fit in 4 sessions in the gym. It's tough. It was definitely tough, and I had to pull back, otherwise I was going to hurt myself in some fashion. I say as I do something where people punch each other in the heads. I'm looking forward, actually. I'm looking forward to the next few months. There's a lot of boxing on. A lot of boxing. There is... Ooh, is Inoue fighting? I can't... When is Inoue's next fight? Inoue... Next fight. Oh, I don't think Inoue's up for a while, but I know there's a lot of big fights. Saudi Arabia is putting on a lot of big fights there. Their actual oil barons are throwing some stuff out, and it's pretty cool, honestly. Oh, excuse me. And the one thing I have to say about them is they're putting on the fights that everyone wants to see. We're going to have the undisputed the undisputed world championship fight in heavyweight, where Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk will finally face off again. I would say that I question if Usyk has the ability to deal with Fury's massive height and reach. But I think out of any of the current heavyweights, Usyk is probably the best pose. I think I would probably be rooting for Usyk, just because I think it would be better ultimately, and he seems more like a fighting man than the fighting man of Tyson Fury. Even though I do support Tyson as well. I probably support him over many things, but he's been just a little bit annoying over time. And I think there's another big card in March. I think that one's in February. So there's a lot of exciting boxing stuff going on that I'm looking forward to. I'm starting a new game of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I've never played any of those games before, but I hope you enjoy. I've kind of been tipping away at some of my own games as well. I have a fun little campaign of CK3 or Crusader Kings 3 going, where I started in a single life. I managed to start from a count. Now, it was a special character in the sense that it was a specially made character, not created by me, but created by like the makers of the game for you to play this character. Out of various different houses and choices that you can go with. It was like an actual historical person. But I went from a single count up to an emperor, the Emperor of Persia, and I reformed the Persian Empire and brought back Zoroastrianism and broke away from the Abbasid Caliphate. Sorry, I couldn't remember the word for caliphate and caliph. Emperor Ruadh. I'd look quite fancy with a big crown and a big cloak and dressy, flashy, noble kind of clothing, wouldn't I? We'll be getting an upgrade quite soon, I hope. I'm a Blue Lion guy. I don't know the first thing about Blue Album, Fire Album, Emblem. Why am I having Emblem? Yeah, there we go. That's how you pronounce that word. I don't know if you guys can hear if my voice sounds kind of scratchy or anything. It's definitely feels it anyway. Unfortunately, I left my water bottle somewhere, so I'm gonna have to go when someone... Actually, you know what? That's what I might do. If you guys will excuse me just a couple of minutes. Not minutes, sorry, just a minute. I'm just gonna run down to some place and pour myself out a glass of water. Thank you, D. Thank you, D. I gotta run over to the stream, the river stream, and scoop up some water. I'm back. Can I have my water? Oh, I almost knocked it. Oh my god, that would have been terrible. But thank you for the hydrate redeem D. They're a class. They're the class sponsored by the Holy Kingdom of Fergus. I don't know what that is. But Lou, I do know. Golden Deer Girl sounds cool. I do know a Fergus Mac Roik or Roch. Oh no, sorry, it'd be Ruch. He was a king of Ulster during the during the what age was it? I believe it was the Ulster. Yeah, because it was attained by Cuchulainn. His story. This Fergus was tricked out of his kingdom by what was his name? Cruhura MacNessa. That's it. That was it. And he ended up siding with Queen Maeve of Connacht in an attempt to retake his kingdom. So Connacht attacked Ulster, and Cuchulainn ends up kind of fighting against them in the Táin Bó Cúailnge. That's a story I should read on stream one day. I think doing some actual mythology reading would be a lot of fun. I was thinking actually, there's a game I've been looking at that looks really cute. A game called Volcano Princess, and basically I think you just act as a father and you raise a little girl. It looks really cute. I watched a streamer friend of mine, Nemenunai Kai, play it, and I think it could be a lot of fun to do. I wish listed that. It looks super cute. It looks super cute, and I wanna raise. I don't know. Would I raise her to be like a warrior or like a statesperson or something? I don't know. But I wanna play it, and I wanna be a good dad. I love games like that. They're fun. I really like choose your own adventure games that are kind of in that vibe. They don't necessarily have to be like, oh, raising a child or family orientated, but like, you know, stuff that has certain storylines. Although I will say, I think I mentioned this before, that I hate missing out on content. So if there's like collectibles, I have to have them. But in games like that, where it's like, you know, you have multiple different endings and things can kind of twist and turn, I don't mind things going like that. Long live the Queen. Have I played that? No, I don't think I have, but it sounds very familiar. It's the Dark Souls of daughter raising. That sounds really cute. What could that even mean? you go to like wake your daughter up to bring her to like her practice stuff, and there's just a giant monster that you have to fight first. And if she throws a tantrum, it's like a boss fight. But yeah, I think it would be. I ended up with an Excel sheet. Oh my god! I know that there are a lot of games that you could get deep into the Excel side of things, but that sounds like it's a real, like, you have to keep track of so many things. To be fair, games like CK3 are just Excel sheets, but you just want to make a number bigger. That's all you want to do on CK3. Gold bigger, prestige bigger, piety bigger. But that's I'm gonna have to look into that. Long live the Queen. There was another game called it wasn't necessarily a choose your own adventure game. It was sort of like a kingdom management game. Let me I did some balance sheets today. Oh, very cool, very cool. How did you do, Clever? Because I know my way around balance sheets and financial statements. I'm decent at them, so to say. What were you? Was there any tricky things? You got a good grade, nice one. Was there any things you had to do, or was it just making up a balance sheet? Was it just plugging numbers in from a trial balance, or did you have to deal with any like things where it's like, what would you call it? Changes, where you have to make changes to this figures you're given, adjustments, revaluations, inventory. In my time, I just got to remember the little mistakes I was making, so I don't make them again. Was there any particular mistakes you made? I did a little bit of such accounting, and I apologize. This is probably a very boring topic of discussion for anyone. It would probably be very good for. Oh my god, I should I should grab like a random law book or something, and do a reading stream of that as ASMR, and you guys can just go to sleep because that stuff will put you to sleep in minutes. Oh, I just want to mention I was listening to VTuber ASMR last night, and I don't remember falling asleep. I don't remember like intentionally putting my head down and closing my eyes to go to sleep. All I remember was I was listening to him at one moment, and then I just woke up. I was like, oh, I love when that happens. That's the best. It's the best feeling, because you know then that the ASMR was like so good. Oh, also, I picked up Traveler's Rest because I had someone mention that that game could be good for me. It could be good just to kind of chill out and play. I don't know much about it, but I'll be looking to play it. And the other game I was talking about that was kind of like choose your own kingdom management, that was a Yes Your Grace. The only issue with a lot of those games is that like oftentimes they will have the same ending, the same major plot points, and the only differences will be who might end up at the ending, how certain people might feel. Uh, Sometimes it can just be a little disappointing in that regard. But I suppose it's almost asking people to make two or three engaging long stories, and that can be very difficult on a developer. That's why I think like text-based choose your own adventure games are a lot more manageable for people to make things a bit more wider for them, a bit easier for them to have much different endings, so to speak. Of course, if you're intending for a sequel as well, that just makes things even more complicated because now you need to cater to different endings again. Things can get very complicated very quickly. But can you remember any of those little mistakes that you made, Clever? I might be able to help. Love the text-heavy games. They're a lot of fun. I spend so much time, and I realize I've been live for half an hour and I haven't even started reading. So I might even just do a short reading stream today, and then move into ASMR proper, where I'll just talk to you guys and make sounds and hopefully make you guys relax. But I played Skyrim so much, and every single playthrough, just because I was a hoarder, I would want to collect every single book. I needed, well, if I had the same book, it was, if I had the same book, I'd obviously not take it. Unless it was a really expensive one, then I'd be like, okay, I get 60 gold, that's a rare book, I need it. But I would need to collect every book, and I'd read them all, and I would try and organize them on the bookshelves in the houses you buy things. I read a book in Skyrim on my YouTube channel. Ooh, nice. I might try and look that up. Oh no, Clever. Was it the lusty Argonian maid? Is that what you read? Keeping track of whether something was an addition or a subtraction in regards to the accounting equation. Ah, okay. So you were trying to figure out. I think I get what you mean. You were thinking of the assets plus liability, or assets minus liabilities is equal to equity, or whatever version of that. The golden ribbon of merit. I actually don't. That one doesn't ring a bell. I'm gonna have to look that up. an archery book. I had to stop reading every book in Skyrim I came across because most of my stream ended up being reading the history of Tamriel. That's exactly how mine would be. Mine would just be that. And that was back when I had so much free time, especially during summers. And now, I'm, those long summer days off are gone now, unfortunately. Uh, well, look, it is what it is. um, but I would be exactly the same. What I would say is clever. Focus on understanding assets and liabilities. Focus on understanding your debits and credits specifically, and that'll tell you everything you need to do. If you understand assets, income, expenses, liabilities, and equity, you understand what those things are and how you make them go up or down. That'll tell you exactly whether you take it away or increase it. For example, I took photos of the screen after I made corrections. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. You can double check things. I always one thing that I found kind of helpful was a little mnemonic called dead click. Dead click. So DEAD and then CLIC. So you leave out the last K, but you just have C at the end. And what that stands for is that if you want to increase something, it means you debit. Debit being the left side of your journal. You're going to debit expenses, assets, and drawings. Now, drawings are something you're not going to come across much unless you're doing sole traders. If you're doing companies, they won't have drawings. And then credit, liabilities, income, and capital. And if you remember, and that's if you want to increase it. Obviously, then if it's the reverse, if you want to decrease it, you do the opposite thing. So you would credit assets and expenses, and you would debit liabilities, income, and capital. But if you get that down, you understand that, then it will make it a hell of a lot easier. So you'll understand. Let's say, for instance, they had a long-term loan of 500 million or something. I don't know. Just make up a figure, and they took on a new loan of 200 million. If you were working from the accounting equation, you might be trying to figure out, okay, so that's going to add to liabilities in some way, and then that would affect equity. No, don't care about that. Just look at your line item. So they have 500,000 or 500 million, whatever I said, and they took on 200 million. So we just put in 700 million. And you just keep a track of it that way. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'm actually genuinely quite good at that side of stuff. So feel free to DM me on Discord or something. If you have any specific questions, maybe about any of the standards or anything. I'm not going to do an accounting stream. That would just be that would be so boring. But I think I'm going to get into reading our book today. And we're starting chapter 2 of Richard A. Gabriel's Philip of Macedonia, Greater than Alexander. So, this is, I think, going to be a very interesting chapter. It's about 30 pages long, so it'll probably take me 2 streams to get through it, but I'd like to get... If we could get to, let's say, page 40 or so, how's the breakdown of this chapter? 39, 40. So about, if we get to page 44, I'd be quite happy. And that's about 20 pages. That might be pushing it a little bit, but we'll see if we can do it. So for now, I hope everyone can get nice and relaxed and chilled out and enjoy the reading. In the 4th century BC, Macedonia was the largest and most fertile area of Greece. See map 1. So I might pull this up for you guys. And this can help you guys maybe try and keep track of areas we're talking about. I unfortunately don't have a cursor to point at anything. Wait, hang on. If I know what to do. I'm gonna make some text. I'm gonna call it pointer. I'm gonna go like this, and then I will. Aha! I don't like that it's not correctly set. That's very infuriating to me. So I will. I just look a happy face. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So that's going to be there for if I want to point at any specific area. I'll just put that like there for now. Put it there. Lower Macedonia comprised extensive alluvial plains at the mouths of its two great rivers, the Haliacmon and the Axios, that flowed into the Termaic Gulf. The lower Macedonian plain was ringed by hills and mountains on all sides except for the east, where the Strymon River formed its natural boundary with Thrace, along with Thessaly. Lower Macedonia comprised the largest area of alluvial plains on the Hellenic peninsula. West and northwest of Lower Macedonia were the smaller plains and pastures that lay at higher altitudes between the mountain ranges that made up the cantons of Upper Macedonia. Together, the territories of Upper and Lower Macedonia were able to support a population larger than any of that of a Greek state or combination of Greek states of the day. Estimates of the country's population during Philip's era range from 500,000 to 1 million inhabitants. Macedonia possessed a dual climate. Coastal Macedonia shared the Mediterranean climate of the rest of Greece, while inland the climate of Upper Macedonia was typical of the Balkans' continental climate, with its harsh winters and cold temperatures. So some of the rivers he talked about there, kind of this region, you can see Thessaly, you can see the Haliacmon, the Axios here, the Strymon River separating it with Thrace. Up here is kind of mountainous. Down here is large fertile plains, and Thessaly also has these large fertile plains, which is why they were quite fond of their horsemen as well. The land and its peoples. The plains of Lower Macedonia were well watered by the country's perennial rivers and streams, producing rich pasture land ideal for raising horses, cattle, goats, and sheep. The alluvial soil was fertile, and extensive farming reaped large harvests of cereal grains that provided the staple diet of the inhabitants and a sufficient surplus to serve as a major export crop. The population of peasant farmers lived in the towns and villages and cities scattered upon the plain. The Macedonian plain was almost devoid of rock, so the houses and town buildings were constructed of mud brick. Almost all cities and towns of Lower Macedonia were fortified with walls, a necessary means of defense against both the frequent raids conducted by the neighboring tribes and the military expeditions of the Greek city-states. I could see maybe that's why the Greek city-states might even consider them half barbarians as well. In their areas they have large stone works, while you come to Macedonia and it's mud brick. Upper Macedonia was a very different place. Although substantial, its population was somewhat smaller than that on the plains, and life was much harder. The economy centered on the transhuman pastoralism of animal husbandry, mostly sheep and goats. The area's climatic severity forced the shepherds to transfer their livestock on a seasonal basis from winter to spring pastures. The mobility required by this mode of economic existence made it impossible to establish cities of any size, and people lived mostly in small hamlets and on a few trading towns when not on the move, or living in tents near their animals. Living conditions were primitive. During his Persian campaign, when Alexander scolded some mutinous army units that had been drawn from the upper cantons, he reminded them of their lives in Upper Macedonia. Quote, "When Philip took you over, you were nomadic and poor. The majority of you clad in skins and grazing sparse herds on the mountains, and putting up a poor fight for them against the Lyrians, Trebalians, and the neighbouring Thracians. He gave you cloaks to wear instead of skins. Taken as a whole, however, Macedonia was the wealthiest area of Greece. Its people bred fine warriors, or fine war horses in larger numbers than anywhere else in Greece, except perhaps Thessaly. So while elsewhere cavalry remained the secondary arms, so while elsewhere cavalry remained a secondary arm of Greek armies, the Macedonian cavalry became the primary combat arm of Philip's army. It was said that a Macedonian boy could ride before he could walk, and many of the Greek states had difficulty feeding even their small populations. Athens imported almost half its food, and malnutrition and sporadic famines were not uncommon in Greece. Macedonia, by contrast, had sufficient food for its own people and for export, with the result that the Macedonians were a strong and hardy lot. They made excellent soldiers, and their ability to endure the rigours of the campaign, often in winter, amazed the Greeks. Welcome in, welcome in, son Albionus. I was about to welcome in myself. That's very egotistical. I walk in a room and I'm just like, welcome in, Ruadh. I know you all want to see me, so I'll do you guys the honor. I know no one is. People might be nervous to say hi to me. Well, welcome in, son Albionus. For those of you who may not know, son Albionus is another VTuber, a Greek. No, sorry, a Roman. My apologies. A Roman. Long blonde-haired Roman who reads philosophy and stories. He's currently reading Bertrand Russell's history of Western philosophy, or is it a history of philosophy in general? Excuse me, my voice is of course of water. I've done that before. Welcome, son Albie. Wait, that it is. I don't think I've done it much, but that was the first time I've noticed that I'm reading a million books at once. Ah, yes, that's another thing with Son is he just reads. He reads a lot and he reads many books. I'm currently in a bit of a down form of reading right now. I have a book I'm planning to read. I'm very busy, so hopefully I can get to it soon enough. Let me just make sure this is correct. Okay, that should do the thingy. Did I spell the name correctly? Oi. Hang on. Why isn't it working, guys? Someone help me. Do I need to do at? I haven't. Do video games count as reading? If you spend all the time reading, like in Skyrim, then maybe. I haven't actually done much reading lately. I've been doing more thinking lately. Real philosopher hours. I usually read a lot before going to bed, but for the past few nights I've been distracted with thinkery thinkings to be able to read. Fair. Okay, let me try this and go Son. Maybe this will work. There we go. It did the shout out thing. Okay, there we go. Even though I felt like me struggling to do it for 3 times probably is marinating the brain. Barbecue flavored brain. Let me get back to the thing though. Cheeseburger flavored, more like, oh god, don't talk about Son's cooking. It's very, very dangerous to you. Not all Macedonians were shepherds or farmers. With its large forests of pine and fir, Macedonia was also a land of lumberjacks and produced much of the wood for the ships of the Athenian and other navies of the Greek city-states. Macedonia was also rich in metals. Hundreds of mines produced iron and copper, and some of the largest silver and gold mines were found there. I had to turn a page for a single word. Now I want a cheeseburger. I want a chicken burger. I want a breast in a bun. Not surprisingly, over the centuries, this rich land was targeted frequently by neighboring tribes, states, and nomadic peoples seeking access to its resources. I've eaten treed. But, son, 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 please eat better. I mean, to be fair, that's probably still within your thing, your calories, because I know you track that. So as long as it was within your macros, I guess. The settlement of Macedonia began at the end of the Bronze Age when a people called scholars call West Greeks migrated south into Upper Macedonia. These people spoke Greek and their own Macedonian dialect. Gradually, some of them drifted farther south, and by 700 BC there were Macedonic tribes living on the edges of the lower plains as well. Among these were the Arestai, a powerful clan that traced their ancestors to the Argedae, a family claiming descent from the Argead of the Temenid kings of Argos in the Peloponnese, and through them to Heracles himself. By the 8th century BC, the Macedonian tribes had coalesced around the Temenid family, which became the royal house of the Macedonian kings and sustained an unbroken dynastic lineage until the death of Alexander the Great's son in 312 BC. According to legend, the first of these Macedonian kings, Perdiccas I, whose name means partridge, followed a herd of wild goats through the mountain to a level ground on the Macedonian plain, where he founded the first city in Macedonia. In honor of the goats that had led him there, Perdiccas named the city Aegae, Goat Town, now modern Vergina. Aegae became the capital of the country and the sacred burial place of Macedonian kings. Actually, I've been doing very poorly. I've been consistently going over my diet limit. You blame the cold. Well, yeah, if it's cold, your body is working extra hard to do stuff. And as well, son, it's been, well, no, it's been over Christmas for a couple of weeks now. I can't use that excuse for you, unfortunately. But it's okay. Just get back on it. I believe in you, son. Just from Monday, just be like, okay, I'm back on the diet, and stick religiously to it. Because I know you were doing really, really well, and you were steadily kind of getting towards your. It's Christmas season for a for a reason. Yeah, the whole season of winter is Christmas. Once Christmas hits, it becomes the season of Christmas, and it's at least 3 months. At least 3 months. And I feel sad because the quote the window guy offered me to have double glazing installed was... What? 50 grand to install a window? Spring, summer, spring, autumn, Christmas. Apparently we're meant to get a storm tonight and tomorrow morning, so that'll be fun, I'm sure. But yeah, son, what the what? 50 grand? A double glazed window is that expensive? That doesn't seem correct. I think that guy was trying to pull a fast one on you. So screw that guy. The amount the guy paid for the new has-been hotel animation. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly how much he paid. Yeah. See, you could have gone back to him, son, and be like, you know what? No, I could get a not safe for work has-been hotel animated video out of that money, for that amount. You better give me at least like 50 glazed windows. I'm sure that guy's. Sure, the guy who bought that is I'm not gonna finish that sentence. God, no. Hang on. I'm say so. I won't say such vile phrases. Excuse. Around 410 BC, King Archelaus transferred the capital to the town of Pella. Being located on the open plain, the old capital was vulnerable to attack. Moreover, Macedonia had expanded eastward to the Strymon River, so the Aegae was no longer centrally located, making administration and communication more difficult. The new capital was located on the shores of Lake Ludius. Surrounded by low-lying swampy terrain, Pella was more defensible from invasion by sea, and it afforded its access to the Thermaic Gulf. The citadel sat on a fortified island in the lake called Phacos, rising from the marshes, while the city was built on nearby hills. Archelaus spent considerable sums on a new capital, and Pella was soon the largest city in Macedonia. Philip converted the lake into a spacious harbour by connecting it to the Axius River with an artificial channel that permitted direct access to the Thermaic Gulf. Artificial gates controlled the flow into the channel. It was the first harbour constructed on a river estuary in Europe. I think he was full of shit, to be honest. He said the windows would be 18°C during the winter without heating on. I can't even get my room to... Yeah, this guy sounds like he was pulling a fast one. Yeah, that guy sounds like he was trying to pull a fast one. But just to point to you, I'm moving, the background moved. I don't know what magic trickery is going on there, but just to point out where Pella is on the map, it's right here, this little dot here, Pella. That's kind of centrally located in Macedonia. Having a map with an arrow, it's handy, isn't it? I made the arrow earlier. It's pretty handy. Although it's a little bit hard to read. Like the smaller text is a little bit tricky. Thankfully I have a slightly decent idea. The city was heavily fortified from the beginning, and in Philip's day its wall, at 8 kilometers long, was longer than the circuit wall of Athens. The walls were constructed of mud brick set upon bases of stone. The city itself was laid out in a regular urban grid with houses and buildings running along its street. Main roads, 30 feet wide, ran east to west and north to south. 2 wide roads connected the city to the artificial harbour. The city had a permanent water supply, which was evident in its many fountains, reservoirs, baths, and public sewers. The government compound and palace occupied 15 acres and was the heart of the Macedonian government, with officials from all financial, military, economic, diplomatic, and administrative activities. The Greek complaint that Macedonians were a primitive people was hardly believable after a Greek diplomat had visited Pella. I'll just check the notes. We've done about 16 notes from this chapter. So let me go up to where chapter 2 begins. Was there any notes that we should be aware of? So there was some evidence of early Neolithic and early Bronze Age settlement in Macedonia, but doesn't seem connected to the later events. So nothing yet. There is one on 33, so I'll keep that in mind. I should do that if I have something map relevant. If you've ever read Herodotus or Thucydides, it would be very helpful. I haven't read Herodotus. I have my book on the shelf, but I have read Thucydides. I know some people pronounce it as, but I'm pretty sure back then it would have been the hard K, so it will be Thucydides. Are they the notes that are not on the bottom of the page? I always hate that. If the notes are at the back of the book, I don't even bother. It's the worst. And you know what the worst part is? Most of those notes too, son, and you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, they're not notes. They're just references to articles or other books. And it's so annoying, because you don't know if you're missing something important. When they're at the bottom of the page, it's so much better. I mean, I get it. I still don't know what a lot of the terminology means. What does ibid mean? Ibid means, I don't know what the term means. NB is very important. I can't remember the Greek or Latin or whatever it is, but ibid means that it's the same reference. So if I was to say reference Son Albionis's fourth stream on his reading of Plato the Republic, and then I make a nota bene, maybe it's that, I don't know, very important, is how I've always had it explained to me. It's like, pay attention to this. It would mean, if I said ibid after that, at another point, right after that reference, it would mean that you would go back to that reference. So that's how it works. Temenids took over the transhumant society of pastoralists who would move their herds each season in search of pasture. Its social order was divided into pastoral groups, each led by a Shelini. Okay, hang on, there's weird words. Shi Naniku, or chief shepherd. All hand and livestock were held in common, and the Shilniku had wide authority to look after the group's welfare. He alone dictated the timing of the group's seasonal movements, conducted its internal affairs, and negotiated with outsiders. He controlled the group's economic life by making decisions regarding when to cut timber, hunt, and slaughter livestock, to protect the group from attack and to enforce his decisions. The Shilniku surrounded himself with a group of warrior companions who carried out his orders. In these three elements of the first pastoralists, land in common, a powerful chief, and a group of companion warriors to protect the group, we see the seeds of the constitutional monarchy that was a mark of the later Macedonian state. Another important legacy of Macedonia's pastoral past was the absence of the institution of slavery. Unlike the Greeks, whose societies rested upon a substratum of slave labor, and whose wealthy households might contain as many as 50 slaves, slavery as a formal institution did not exist in Macedonia. The population did include serfs, whose labor could be commandeered, and under Phillip it is likely that some slaves, criminals, and prisoners were forced to work in the mines. For the most part, however, Macedonian peasants and shepherds tilled their own fields, herded their own animals with their own hands and energy. Women cooked the meals, tended the children, and made the family's clothes. When Alexander the Great entered the Persian capital as its conqueror, he was dressed in simple homespun clothes that his own sister had fashioned for him. There was no royal household to attend the Macedonian king. His wife and relatives performed all the chores of daily life. For most of the king's subjects, Macedonia was a relatively egalitarian society, which all people enjoyed the same basic rights. I figured that vide supra means see above. Why don't they just write or see above? I thought I skipped see above and I was just like just write But the absolute worst is when there is an dash and there's no. I hate that. I don't know what it means. Why is it there? On the subject of physical books, I encountered a new problem with my current book that I never thought about. The words of the page go right on the bottom of the page. Oh, I've never seen that. That's very weird. The children yearn. The children yearn for the mines. I agree, clever. All children yearn for the mines. The Industrial Revolution. The beginning was correct. Child labor is the most efficient. I mean, how else are you gonna get into those little nook and crannies of the mines? You're gonna slowly chip away and get at it with pickaxes and dynamite and take a lot of time and build proper supports so the cave doesn't collapse. No, you're gonna send in the 5-year-old to mine it out. Perhaps it was this sense of all subjects being part of the same society and the same people without slaves that made Macedonian cities and towns relatively peaceful places to live. The political purges, executions, and factionalism, expropriations of property, and forced exiles that so often characterized the political life of the cities of the democracies of the Greek states are noticeably absent from the Macedonian history. Roman historian Quintus Curtius Rufus says as much when he tells us, quote, "The Macedonians were indeed accustomed to the rule of a king, but they lived in a greater semblance of liberty than any other who were subject to a king." He might well have added that the Macedonian subjects enjoyed greater liberty and freedom from fear than could be found in most other Greek city-states. Without a substructure of slaves and foreign people living in Macedonia or its farms, Macedonians came to think of themselves as one people. Macedones, or Macedones as it probably would have been pronounced back then. Hard labor is crucial for early development. Exactly. They need to have like at least creaking spines by the age of like 14. Who else is gonna clean my chimney? The adult slaves. Though, exactly, son. You need small worm-like children. Sparta, aka the Lacedaemons, or the Lacedaemonians. What about them? Is where we get the word laconic from. Yeah, exactly. The Spartans were well known for their laconic phrases, that they would often be very short and to the point. Thucydides often mentions this in his book, that they kind of send very short. I never knew that before, didn't you? Lacedaemonia is essentially this whole. Oh, wait, hang on. I don't want to move. Wait, hang on. I have. It's not letting me click on it. Okay, if I do this. Lacedaemonia is essentially this whole region here. I have to move the book. I could just click on the little arrow, but I was too lazy. Anyway. Without a substructure, Macedonians came to think of themselves as one people, Macedones. The sense of belonging to the same societal group probably had its origins in the pastoral past, when indeed everyone was part of the same pastoral group. Everything was held in common, everyone contributed by working the land or tending animals, and everyone shared in the life and defence of the tribe. Occasionally some new person would be added to the tribe by marriage or circumstance, in which case he or she would be considered and become a Macedon. Over time, the Macedonians came to live and work in cities and towns, as well as tending their herds in the mountain pastures. Regardless of where they lived or how they earned their living, the people of Macedonia accepted the rule of a central house, royal house, and its king, and consider themselves one people. Ruadh, don't tell me your sources are not labelled. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't get it. Are you talking about the map that I have? I got it from the book. I kind of blanked on Oh, sorry. No, they are. I was literally just too lazy. I was clicking on OBS the screen, not on the sources. I do have everything labeled. The book is just a random JPEG, but I know it's the map. But I was too lazy to go down to the sources tab and click it, so I spent 5 minutes. You can click on the screen, but it doesn't really work. You kind of just select things at random, to be quite honest. Thus it was that the Macedonians were the first Europeans to develop a sense of national identity. I would argue against this. Hang on a minute. I want to know what time period they're talking about, because the Irish were very quick to develop a national identity. Even, I mean, if you want to talk about the 700s, 800s, we had one back then with I mean, even in the 500s and 600s, there's reference to the Irish people, and it even goes further back. Oftentimes, within some of the stories, there's references to the Irish people, or at least the Gael and the Milesians. So you know, I'm just gonna say that. I mean, the Irish had one pretty quick as well. But let's be honest, the Macedonians. If it was back in Macedonia, back in what time would this been again? It would have been. Yeah, early BCs. Yeah, you're looking early 4th century BC. Yeah, Ireland belongs to England. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, son. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Saying that on my stream. But no, yeah, probably in this case it probably was. But Ireland did develop a national identity very, very quickly in comparison to many other states. Ireland actually, I believe, has the third oldest and the oldest non-Roman or Greek literature in all of Europe. I'm quite sure. Because I think for a long time other places were writing in Latin or Greek. Ireland was the first place to just start writing in its own stuff in around the 5th century. Like writing it for the sake of writing in the other language. Of course, other places would have had, like, and they might have had random texts, but like, ours were very much early period. You be sipping tea and munching Greggs any day now. I do drink tea a lot, and tea is very, very good. I don't know what a Greggs is. Oh no, wait, I do know what a Greggs is. It's like your like shops. I think it's your like Centras, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's like a Centras. I actually never drank tea. I could. What? How? I'm so confused. How have you never drunk tea, son? It's in abundance. What? I'm so confused. No, last thought. Don't try and to be fair this. And no, you're wrong. Hang on a minute. How do I? Hang on. I need to figure out how I do this again. How do I time someone out? Time out. Is that gonna work? How do I time out someone, son? Explain it to me. Oh wait, I can click that button. I see the button. 600 seconds? Oh my god. I didn't mean... That's like 10 minutes. I thought I would do it for like a minute. This is untimer command. Okay. Okay. Untimer. Okay. I'll have it here ready to go for him in a couple of minutes. Okay. Okay. Good. 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 Not even iced tea, bubble tea. He can't answer you. He can't answer you, but that's what he deserves. He deserves that. I don't even know how to make it. It is not complicated, son. You boil some water. You put the tea bag in the thing. You pour the boiling water in the thing. You stir it around with a spoon. You put a little bit of milk in if that's what you like. If you like really milky tea, you're wrong. Yeah, but how much milk do you put in? I like a slight bit of milk. No, I don't like really milky tea, but I like kind of like slight in between. How much sugar? I take no sugar. No sugar. I'm a no sugar person. No milk, no sugar. D takes her tea straight. And how long do you wait to take out the bag? I typically just stir it. I'll put in the tea and then just. You don't have to. You don't, son. You don't need to care. You can like honestly. You'll have some nerds that'll be like, oh well, if you squeeze the bag, it will release more tannins. That will make your tea bitter. And then there'll be other people who'll be, well, if you leave the bag steep in the tea, it will bring out the flavors even for. I don't care. It's gonna taste the exact same. Okay, it might taste 1% more bitter or 1% more. I don't know, whatever fucking thing you care about. Just it's not complicated, son. It's about 4 steps. Put the tea bag in, pour the boiling water, put the milk in, put a little bit of milk in, take out the tea bag, you're done. I'll just drink chocolate milkshake. Now, to be fair, I like the aesthetics of tea. It's a great aesthetic food to drink. I did have when I was over in London for a while. Cool and sophisticated. Unlike those coffee people. Okay, let me. I hope this works. I used to do tea ceremony when I was young. That sounds really cute, Dee. That sounds very cute. Let me check something real quick. Twitch. Untimeout someone. How do I do that? Type the command untimeout. Oh wait, hang on. I have to do untimeout. That's how it works. There you go. Now you can talk again. if I knew how to, but what if you expand the philosophy to other things when you make otherwise mundane things otherwise considered and deliberate? That's like the whole thing of like monks. Monks are meant to be very focused on the now, not paying attention to the future or past. They focus always on the present. At least the Asian monks, kind of their style. And then that was a heartbreaking experience. I didn't think it would do it for 10 minutes. I thought it would do it for like a minute. But that's what you get. That's what you fucking deserve. It's meant to be a book reading stream. That's where I learned it from, Buddhist monks. Did you meet a bunch of Buddhist monks? D? That's really cool. Son said Irish belonged to the English. I actually recognize that. Yeah, hang on. Okay. Well, I told him I'd beat him up. I told him I'd beat him up. That's what I did. I said I'd beat him up if he kept saying that. I will. But they're like, it's another form of meditation. I suppose it kind of is. Hang on, I'll untime him out in like a minute. Um, but it kind of is like, I know that when I get very focused on a particular task and I'm only focused on that, you become very I don't know, like just relaxed. I don't know, you go through stuff very quickly. It does feel like you're kind of just. I feel left out. I want to be timed out too. Okay, I got you. I got you, Lee. I got you. There you go. 34 what? Wait, is it deleting everyone's messages? Why is it doing that? It's so dumb. Okay, I'm gonna untime out people because I don't want to kill my chat. Untime out. So. Okay, there we go. You guys are now untimed out. At last, I'm free to conquer Earth. Maybe you can conquer how to make a cup of tea first, and how to make edible food before you try and take on conquering the Earth. I specify Scotty. The Scottish belong to Ireland. The Scotty being from the Dalriata of Northern Ireland, the north of Ireland, not Northern Ireland. That doesn't make any sense. So I was gonna say, I have timeout ready to go, son. What if you made a Roman tea ceremony but with wine? You could do that. You could do that. It's a symposium thing. Yeah, I did untime out D. Okay, good. Just making sure. But made more Zen Buddhist or Stoic or something. Perhaps you could do something fancy like that. I mean, that's just kind of like what Japan is, isn't it? A lot of Japan is like, let's make this thing very ceremonious. Very, very ceremonious. And with that, you could have cute little wine cups. Wait a minute, guys. You guys are literally just like, you're remaking the Eucharist right now. you are remaking the Holy Communion. They have their, I don't know what that word is, triclinium. The room is deliberately designed. Now you're bringing in Feng Shui. No, wait, what was it again? Feng D, help me, what's the word again? Feng Shui? Feng Shui? It's the thing, like, if your door's on, like, the right, it's like your room's a workshop or something. Tri-T, selenium reclining. It's the 3 reclining benches of Roman dinner parties. Ah, I see. Feng Shui. Yeah, I think that was the word I was looking for. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Isn't there like a whole thing where like how your room is designed is based on that? Wait a minute, hang on. I'm getting back to my book. You guys can figure out your stuff. But yeah, isn't it like there's like a whole aspect of like designing your house so that there's positive energy flowing? Where were we? Oh yeah. To be a Macedonian came to mean being anyone or any people who lived within a territory over which the king, as the executive agent of the state, exercised direct authority. As Macedonia expanded over the years, and especially under Philip, each newly acquired territory was regarded as being part of Macedonia itself, and its people regarded as Macedonians. In modern legal parlance, Macedonian citizenship was defined by the doctrine of jus territoriale, and not just sanguinis, right of blood, or having ancestor who is a citizen. Now I would be very, very interested to know whether there was any, the elite of Macedonian society, despite this idea of there being, citizenship as they expanded out and conquered more, it happened to come from a certain region or a certain families that were always the case. And I think that typically is the situation. And likely, it's very difficult for any of those broader groups who are brought in to be considered fully Macedonian in the sense of being, there will be a considerable difference. I mean, even this was seen even in Rome, in the Roman Empire, which people often point to in being, specially open and taking people in and giving citizenship, is that despite this, the majority of people who were given positions of power, and the broad kind of consensus was that the Romans and the broader Italian groups were Roman and Italians, and that kind of nationality, so to speak, played a large part in the people who would run the empire, or at least the state of Rome. It becomes an empire later, but just broadly, I think this expands for many other empires as well. There's this idea of the pluralistic empire versus the nationalistic, like nation states, and that develops differently. But I'm not too sure if I agree with this idea, because I see many empires as being national empires. That the empires tend to be run by specific groups of people, and there might be a couple of, there might be one or two other groups or nationalities within them, or you can call them tribes, whatever you want. Tribal groups that kind of assist the ruling nation, but ultimately those empires tend to be for the benefit, the main benefit of a specific racial group. Not racial group, sorry, that's the wrong term. That's actually specifically the wrong term. What I mean is national group. But later on, when things become a lot more global, that does start to play a part. Apologies, it's a very complicated topic in history. It's always hard to compare ancient nations, countries, empires to modern ones because the populations are so much smaller. That's another very difficult thing. It's like if you're a very large state like Macedonia, where you have 500,000 to almost 1 million people back then, and you take over a bit of land that has like maybe like 5,000 people. Yeah, okay, grand. You guys are Macedonians now. It's not a big issue for us. It's all about that energy. Don't you have don't have your feet pointing out the door. That's the corpse position. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, there's a wall. There's a wall between me and my door. My bed's in a little alcove to the side. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do I need to turn my bed around? Oh no. I'll turn my bed around. That would be a lot of hassle. It's in a little alcove. Wall is fine. Okay, so as long as the wall is blocking it. My bed is pointed towards the door, but like it's the wall blocks it, so. In the past, it was pretty easy doing known to basically everyone in your country. So long as it's not a direct, uninterrupted route. I'm safe. I'm safe. I didn't even realize, but I'm perfectly feng shui certified. I'm sure that's a thing. I'm sure there's some guy who offers who offers to come into your house, take a look around, and then he'll give you a certification of feng shui, of positive energy flow. Feng shui. Yeah? E. Feng shui. D help. I'm having trouble with the EI. It was like shui. E. Anyway. No, it's cute. I like this. Me struggling to pronounce things. Feng shui. Shui. I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually. Where were we? The Macedonian idea of who constituted a Macedon was quite different from the idea of citizenship common in the Greek states. The Greek states were citizen states. That is, they're fully enfranchised persons, whether they resided in Attica or in Athenian possessions overseas, were regarded as citizens of their own home state, Athens. Whenever a Greek state conquered another territory, the Greeks planted some citizen landholders, Kleurokoi, or Kleurukoi, on the land, but did not regard the conquered peoples as citizens. Citizenship was limited to the residents of the city-state, and there were no way to accommodate large numbers of new inhabitants to full participation in the policy. The Macedonian practice of extending the status of king's subjects to newly conquered peoples made it possible to establish the first national state in Europe. When new people were absorbed into the realm, the full rights of all Macedons were extended to them. The towns and tribes were mostly left to govern themselves in their own way, often retaining their own kings and assemblies. Conquered people were permitted to practice their own religions, laws, and customs. Excuse me, I hear the people I hear the thin walls of the neighbors. They're shouting things. um, After reading the history of India, I've completely given up on trying to even correctly or accurately pronounce words. Just say it quickly and boldly and nobody will notice you butcher it. Yeah, the Indian names are so complicated sometimes, especially the old ones in the kingdoms. Ratatashan, the, I'm not even going to attempt it, I can't even remember them. I would just need to make a lot of K and vowel sounds and I'd probably say a name. Yeah, I pronounce things wrong all the time. There was one word that was like that. I probably can't pronounce half the places on this map. You have Attica, Thessaly, Epirus, Illyria, Macedonia, Macedonia, but you know, we won't talk about that. Argania, Tribalians, Plevin, Balkans, Euboea, Sun would probably be the person to actually know how to pronounce things better, I imagine. The Macedonian practice of extending, even the military forces of local chieftains were permitted to remain, but they were sometimes retrained in the Macedonian armies in new weapons and doctrines, and were redefined as the king's militia. Particularly powerful and talented local barons and warriors were invited to Pella, where they became companions of the king. Parmenio, Philip's most talented and trusted general, and a Pelagonian by birth, was one of these men. That said, the king of Macedonia, unhindered by local representatives, remained the ultimate authority on all matters. 1/10 of all produce and its cash equivalent was paid annually to the state, and Macedonians demanded that segments of the population serve as servers, soldiers, and laborers. Thinking of Macedonia proper and its acquired territories as one national unit permitted Philip to develop his kingdom along national lines. To this end he established new cities, transplanted populations to live in them, drained swamps, constructed roads, fortified key passes through mountains, and even drew military units from specific geographical areas of the kingdom, permitting them to retain their local designations. As Alexander reminded his troops, quote, "He, Philip, brought you down from the mountains and the plain. making you a match in battle for the neighboring barbarians, trusting you for salvation, or trusting for your salvation no longer in the natural strength of places so much as in your courage. He made you dwellers in cities and graced your lives with good laws and customs. The effect of Philip's policy was to bring under his command manpower and economic resources greater than those of any Greek state or alliance of states. Philip of Macedonia created the first nation-state in the West. Did my word not go? It didn't go through. It didn't go through, son. I can't see whatever word you just put in. It was a really long word. External threats. I think we're coming to the end of the actual, how much I kind of want to read. Napoleon Bonaparte is supposed to have remarked that a nation's geography was its destiny. This observation was certainly true in Macedonia's case. Geography rendered Macedonia particularly vulnerable to foreign invasion. Macedonia's invaders in the half-century before Philip became king included Illyrians, Molossians of Epirus, Paeonians, Thracians, Dardanians, Trebalians, Chalcidians, Athenians, Thebans, Thessalians, Phocians, Spartans, and Corinthians. From 510 to 479 BC, Persia invaded Macedonia twice and reduced the kingdom to a vassal state for more than 30 years. Later, Athens established colonies on the Macedonian coast of the Thermaic Gulf and forced the king to accept, quote, Greek residence in the kingdom, a euphemism for Greek troops garrisoned on Macedonian soil. During the dynastic crisis following the assassination of Alexandros II, Macedonia was invaded by the Athenians. Thebes invaded the country twice in the year 367 BC. It was Macedonia's unhappy lot to be surrounded by hostile forces that had relatively easy geographic access to the country and took frequent advantage of it. Hello, welcome in Copyright. Thank you for joining us. It's lovely to have you. Name pronunciation. My name is pronounced Rua Ua Quilta. Rua Ua Quilta. So some of the places that were mentioned, you have the Illyrians, the Molossians of Epirus, Paeonia, the Trebalians were mentioned, the Thracians. Down here, I believe, is where many of those cities that were set up by the Athenians, the Three Fingers, kind of this region. The Thessalians, the Spartans down here, of course. The Thebans, the Corinthians, the Athens over here. Where's Corinth again? Where is Corinth? I'm suddenly blanked on where. Corinth, sorry. Corinth, yes. Corinth had the advantage and the disadvantage of being the main entrance into Lacedaemonia. And there was this kind of spat that they controlled, and the Athenians and the Spartans constantly fought over trying to get establishment of this area, because you effectively were able to have significant influence if you control this path. Macedonia's coast was vulnerable too to Sea's invasion along the Thermaic Gulf, a vulnerability Athens exploited all too often. On land, concentric rings of mountains encircled lower Macedonia. The mountain passes served as routes through which invaders attacked the country. Controlling the strategic passes of each concentric ring of mountains was of paramount importance for Macedonia's security. The passes and mountains of the innermost defensive ring ran through Macedonia's 4 upper cantons, Elymia, Orestes, Lyncus, and Pelagonia, which served as buffers between Macedonia proper and Illyria. The people of these cantons were Greek-speaking Macedonians who continued to live the old transhuman pastoral life. As in the Macedonian of old, the people were divided into pastoral groups, each of which was governed by its own royal house or aristocracy, supported by militia armies. The canton chiefs, or, quote, kings, feared central Macedonian rule. Sometimes they forged alliances with the Illyrians, Paeonian, and Thracian tribes against the regime of Pella. permitting the invaders to traverse their lands on the way to Macedonia's interior. In some cases, the cantons even joined the fighting in return for a share of the loot or tribute. When Philip came to power, Pella's control over the upper cantons, where it existed at all, was tenuous. The weak central government and uncertain allegiance of the upper cantons, the country's geographic vulnerability and the constant threat of invasion, combined to undermine any sense that Macedonia could be considered an independent and defensive political unit. Damn, this is relaxing. I'm glad to hear copyright. I hope you enjoy the reading. Among the most powerful and troublesome and dangerous of Macedonia's enemies to the northwest were the Illyrians. The Illyrians up here. They're sort of like the main enemy. Coalition of tribes that came together under the leadership of a single chief and formed powerful armies with which to attack their neighbours. A constant threat to the upper cantons in 392 BC, the Illyrians occupied them and then attacked and occupied parts of Lower Macedonia. They forced the Macedonian king Amyntas III from his throne and replaced him with their own cat's paw. In return for his promise of tribute, Amyntas was able to regain his position. In 382 BC, the year of Philip's birth, the Illyrians attacked again, defeated the Macedonian army, ravaged the kingdom, and withdrew after receiving promise of tribute. For nearly 30 years before Philip came to power, the Illyrians' ruler was a formidable chief named Bardalus, who led raids against Macedonia and caused most of the trouble during this period. In 359 BC, Bardalus attacked Macedonia again, this time annihilating its army and killing Philip's brother, King Perdiccas III. Bardalus then occupied the upper cantons and was preparing for a larger invasion of Macedonia when Philip came to the throne. North FC. Are you saying that the Illyrians are North FC? They're just a group of tribes that just like get together. They go into Macedonia. Come on, Illyrians, raid some fucking towns. Go up to King Amyntas III and it's like, the fuck you looking at, mate? Give him a head bop. That's actually probably how Philip lost his eye. It wasn't that he got shot with an arrow. Some bad like 15 stone fat North FC Illyrian came up to him and just head bopped him and walked off. And no, he probably glassed him. That sounds more like what would damage his eye. What are you reading? I'm currently reading a book called Philip of Macedonia, greater than Alexander. Philip was Alexander the Great's father. Submerged himself in the swamp for 3 months. The Romans. That's why the Romans could never conquer Scotland or Ireland. They had enough to deal with the swamp people in England. They're like, oh, these guys, like, we can't deal with more of them. They just sit in the swamps for 3 months with their heads above the water. So I believe essentially, if you think of Macedonia was not like this massive kingdom at the time that Philip took over. It was actually more like kind of, I think, this region. Like this kind of small square here that I'm kind of doing. The Illyrians effectively controlled, I think, like almost half of this region and up here, and had influence at least around here. The Thracians were also quite deep in Macedonian territory. I should look up a few things that might have like borders, like rough borders. To the north, the Paeonians occupied the wide lowland plain of the middle Axius River. So yes, so the Paeonians are not just up here, but it sounds like they're down here as well. So they're being hemmed in from all sides. By the time Philip takes the throne, Macedonia looks like it's about to fall, essentially, especially considering the army has just been slaughtered. They were not Greek-speaking people, but just as the Thracians were of Indo-Aryan stock, a fierce and warlike people, the Paeonians lived in tribes, each ruled by their own monarchy or royal house. Sometime around 550 BC, they expanded southwards, drove the Macedonians back from the lowland plains, occupied the basin of the Strymon River, and later attacked Pella itself. They pressed eastward into Thrace as far as Perinthus, the Propontis in antiquity, on the Sea of Marmara. This is like a history lesson. Yeah, I mean, this is a history book, so I hope it's a book that's interesting. The Persian invasion of 510 BC forced the Paeonians back beyond the Strymon River. When the Macedonians became vassals of the Persians, they drove the Paeonians from the lowland Macedonian plain and liberated Pella. For 30 years, Macedonia's status as a Persian vassal was useful in deterring further Paeonian attacks. After the Greeks defeated the Persians at the Battle of Plataea in 479 BC, the Macedonian king Alexandros I switched sides, drove north and east, and removed the Paeonian threat. Very chill to listen to. I'm glad to hear that. The Paeonian homeland sat astride the invasion route to Macedonia, and Paeonia was itself vulnerable to attack by the Dardanians and Thracians tribes seeking access to the route. No Macedonian king could consider the northern frontier safe as long as Paeonia was not subject to Macedonian control. When Philip returned from Thebes, his brother assigned him to raise troops and guard the invasion route from Paeonia to Macedonia, sufficient evidence of the seriousness with which Macedonian kings regarded the Paeonian threat. Let me take a drink of water. The most formidable and numerous of the Balkan people were the Thracians, who occupied the area eastward beyond the Nestus River and south to the Danube of the Black Sea. The Thracians had not forsaken their Indo-European heritage and remained a nation of fierce warriors living in fortified villages on hilltops. Excuse me. So you can see the trace right there to the right. The Thracian cavalry was legendary for its numbers and combat power, and Philip adopted its wedge-shaped formation for his own cavalry's use. The lack of a central political organization and the frequent tribal wars prevented Thrace from becoming the major regional power it could have easily been given its resources. One consequence was that the Thracian armies launched only one attempt to invade Macedonia between 452 and 359 BC. Thrace's strategic importance to Macedonian security interests, was that it blocked Macedonia's attempt to expand eastward beyond the Nestus River, and in Philip's time, to gain an advantage over Athens and its client states on the Sea of Marmara. So the Nestus River is this river here. Excuse me, let me take my point. The Nestus River is this region. And Athens at the time had loads of kind of control just along the coast, because they had the massive thing. And further out, I believe, as well, there's more kind of Athenian aligned areas. Where were we? Thrace, however, presented no problem to Philip in his early days. From time to time, however, I'm going to continue. I'm going to fall asleep if you continue for like 20 minutes. I'll probably be going for another while, but I'll actually be moving to proper ASMR in a little bit. But I'm glad to hear. I hope you have a nice sleep. From time to time, however, some high king would organize a larger coalition and create mischief for the Greeks. Ultimately, however, Philip would have to reduce Thrace by force if he was going to bring Athens to heel. Thessaly was Macedonia's powerful neighbour to the south, and the gate for Greek armies moving north into Macedonia. Thessaly was a wealthy and politically advanced kingdom, similar to other Greek states in that it comprised a loosely organized union of independent Greek city-states, ruled by aristocracies. The country had large fertile plains from which to draw its food and was known for its fine horses. Thessaly had also good harbours on the Gulf of Pagasae, and enjoyed a vigorous and profitable trade with Greece. Like Macedonia, the country was located on the coastal route between Athens and the coast of Asia Minor. Whenever Thebes intervened in Macedonia, its armies came through Thessaly. While the warlike tribes that occupied the mountains between Thessaly and Macedonia often caused problems for both countries, their presence in the highlands and passes served as an important buffer, reducing friction between the two countries along the shared frontier. In addition to the obvious security concerns that Thessaly's geography presented to the Macedonian kings, some of its city-states possessed powerful military forces that could be turned against Macedonia. In the 370s BC, Jason of Pherae possessed an army of 8,000 cavalry and 20,000 heavy infantry, most of whom were mercenary professionals. Fortunately for Macedonia's security concerns, the other Thessalian states were masters of balance of power politics, often combining and recombining in alliances designed to prevent any one city or coalition from controlling the country and using it as a strategic platform from which to attack Macedonia. Moreover, Thessaly had security concerns of its own, and its security orientation was to the south towards Thebes and Athens, and the other Greek states, and not towards Macedonia to the north. Of all the Greek enemies, Macedonia most hated or distrusted the coalition states of the Chalcidice region, which shared a common border with Macedonia along the Axius River. So I believe that's this region down here, I think. I'm sure it will be explained to us a little bit more. Yes, I was right. Olynthos was the most powerful and important Chalcidian city and led the Chalcidian League military alliance. Are you reading from a book? I am, Astro. Parsecs. Welcome in, Parsecs. It's a pleasure to have you. For those of you who don't know, Parsecs is another VTuber. Let me quickly do that. That should work. There we go. So you guys see he was playing science and technology. He's from... I haven't been able to catch many of his streams, but he's a very, very smart individual from what I've heard. But welcome to the stream, Astro. It's very lovely to have you. Hope you enjoy the reading if you stick around. The League constituted a major military alliance and a serious threat to Macedonia, as it was only 20 miles from the Axius River, and the outskirts of the Macedonian cavalry. Or Macedonian capital, sorry, I looked away. In 382 BC, the League invaded Macedonia, attacking and capturing most of Macedonia's coastal cities before seizing Pella itself. The Chalcidians removed the king and attempted to install their own client on the throne. The Macedonian king appealed to Sparta, which intervened militarily, forcing the Chalcidians to return the Macedonian cities and permit the king's reinstatement. A similar hatred and distrust had existed between the two states ever since. A simmering hatred, I should say. In 367 BC, Chalcidice supported Pausanias, a pretender to the Macedonian throne, who attempted to capitalize on the civil war caused by the succession crisis in Macedonia. The Chalcidians backed the wrong horse, however, and Pausanias' efforts came to nothing. They tried again less than a decade later, when two of Philip's half-brothers fled Macedonia, after their failed attempt to prevent taking the throne in 359 BC. Olynthos foolishly gave them refuge. Philip hardly needed more reason to distrust Chalcidice, especially when Macedonia was already under threats from other fronts. So yes, it's this region here, the Chalcidian League, with Olynthos being mentioned right here. Athens was a major menace to Macedonian security interests to the northeast and on the coast of the Thermaic Gulf. As the Athenian maritime empire grew in the 5th century, Athens pressed north, seeking to rule the Gulf. In 437 BC, Athens established a colony and Amphipolis to control the lower Strymon River and the head of the Gulf itself in an effort to dominate the maritime trade. Equally important was Athens' interest in securing access to the area's forests, as well as the supplies of fir, pine, and pitch, were vital to maintaining its powerful navy. Athens was also interested in seizing the large silver, iron, and gold mines located in the Strymon Basin. The area was also important for fisheries and grain production, in addition to assessing the hinterland's exports. Athenian economic interests extended to attempting to command the Macedonian coast, and in 434 BC, Athens established Methone, a trading colony in the Macedonian territory. The linchpin of Athens' ability to project power in the northern Ternaic Gulf was its alliance and relations with Chalcidice. Influencing Chalcidicean policy was vital to keeping open the route through Thrace and cities along the Hellespont, or the modern Dardanelles, for trade and defense. In Macedonian eyes, an alliance between these strong regional powers constituted a serious national security threat to Macedonia itself. In 362 BC, Athens staged from the Chalcidian port of Potidaea and attacked Macedonia, seizing Pydna and recapturing Methone, while the Macedonian king Perdiccas III countered by establishing a garrison in Amphipolis. Athenian control of Methone and Pydna allowed it to cut off Macedonia's primary route of ground communications to the south, as well as interrupt its seaborne commerce. Athens was also encouraged the Illyrian and northern tribes to cause mischief on the Macedonian border, and interfered in Macedonian dynastic quarrels whenever the opportunity arose. In 359 BC, an Athenian army landed at Methone in support of Philip's half-brother, who challenged Philip for the Macedonian throne. Macedonia's geography, domestic politics, and economic wealth combined to make the country a tempting target for its numerous adversaries' national ambitions. Invasions, interference in domestic quarrels, attempts to install rival kings, the conquest and occupation of Macedonian cities, and frequent wars with powerful enemies had been Macedonia's curse for more than 2 centuries before Philip ascended the throne. An important element contributing to Macedonia's disadvantage in dealing with external threats was the primitive nature of the country's political institutions, including its military forces. Most important in this regard was a weakness of the Macedonian state and the monarchy itself. Some areas were kind of mentioned here, especially with Athens and the areas they were controlling. So you can see here Amphipolis, which the Athenians set up to control the basin of the Strymon River and kind of the surrounding region where there was a lot of resources. Then you also had, during this war, it stated that the Perdiccas III, was it, or second, established a garrison here, so obviously he managed to take it over, but the Athenians moved down from this region into here, Pydna and Methone, and effectively cut the Macedonians off from southern I'm back, I'm back. Hello, everyone. Wait, I have to change. My stream info. You guys get keyboard ASMR. There we go. No, Renata, don't cry. Don't cry, Renata. It's okay. Could be just a little bit louder. Okay. Hello. Okay, maybe this is a little better. I'm back, Renata. It's okay. That's good, that's better. That's good to hear. Because I'll be honest, I'm still a little bit unsure of how to set things up properly for ASMR on this thing. It's so confusing. I was thinking of asking for some help from some people about getting it set up perfectly, but hopefully the way I have it now is good. But I don't know if you guys have seen, but Renata recently made some adorable art for me. Hang on, is it okay if I show it on stream, Renata? I really loved it. It was this really cute head patting art. I have to go into Twitter. There it is. It's so cute. It's so cute. It's so cute. So cute. So cute. I love with this little shitty that there's a slight bulge on the waist where it's like the fabric is there, but to me it's like a little chubby, and there's a little bit of a stomach poking out of the belt. It's very cute. The expression, it's so sweet. Renata is a great artist. Wait, hang on. I'm going to spin it around. There we go. This is a little easier now. Now it's like you guys are facing me. Because I imagine that for a while, if you can hear the binaural effect, is that it was like I was behind you. But now I should be slightly more in front.
my viewers by the ears, poking their ears, like. Is that good? Is that good? Ruler. Poking your brain. Yeah. I'm digging deep. Your head is so empty deep. It's so empty it's hard to poke your brain, but I found it. The other side. It's very dusty. I'm gonna have to wear a mask. But oh Lord, I need to come up with more stories from my past. Well, because I've lived so long in Ireland, I've actually been in many, many battles. I was a part of the Great Hugh O'Neill's rebellion against Elizabeth I. Wait, was it Elizabeth? No, I can't remember who it was. Queen of England at the time. But the Battle of Yellow Ford, one of the greatest victories the Irish rebels won against the English at the time. Supposedly, during the battle, a Englishman, in attempting to reload his gun, reached into the ammo kind of cart that they had on their train, and he was going to grab a bag of black powder, but he didn't realize that he was holding a spark, essentially, something that could cause black powder to go bang, and well, the entire black powder cart went boom. My chair. Don't be so loud, chair. It was quite a sight to see. Let me do something very quick. Excuse me. Where are we? Where's the viewer? Oh yeah, they're there. Oh my god, hang on. Wait. I need to check something. When I use this, I can sometimes hear other people, like in other houses. I'm just gonna turn up the noise suppression for a little bit, because otherwise I'm worried things will get picked up, and I don't want to be hearing some like family's discussion. I don't think that would be good. It's so like awkward on my brain because I'm trying to listen to the sound at the same time, and it's messing with my way of talking because I'm hearing it slightly delayed from the microphone. I'm gonna have to see if there's a way that I can make it so that it lines up, but I don't think that's possible. Ears are so twisty. Never do the sound monitoring. I know. It's so difficult. Also, there is a redeem that's just called Trigger. Feel free to request something, and I will do my best to, fulfill it. So, you don't need to do the redeem. I'll be honest. Feel free to pick anything. The clicking sound. The clicking sound is what goes on in your head when you're doing puzzles, Steve. It's the gears trying to turn very slowly as the puzzles get harder and harder. They start to seize up. Your brain gear is getting hot. Honestly, Get your ear hair under control, thankfully. You fell asleep. Well, that's very good to hear. I'm happy to hear that. I hope you fall asleep. Get a good rest, okay? Get a good rest. Never stop. I will eventually have to, but I'll enjoy it for a while. That's a nice kind of dome sound. I almost knocked over the mic. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Don't knock over the mic. You fell asleep. I just want to say that you're an amazing streamer and you're helping me with your ADHD. So, like, no worries at all. I hope I can continue to help. Thank you for supporting me. close the cradle will drop in. Wait, what are lyrics again? Hang on, let me look it up. Then over here, and then I'll type in, I want to type in something, lullaby lyrics. Okay, let's see if we can find some good ones. They don't give the full lyrics, they're just giving like half lyrics. Those aren't very good. ASMR and karaoke. Well, I'm going to try and sing softly. I don't know if I'll do it super well, but I'll do my best. Hush, little. I can't do this with hearing myself. Okay. I'm going to be without hearing myself for a little bit. It's gonna be. So let me know if there's any issues. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird, and if that mockingbird won't sing, Papa's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if that diamond ring turns brass, Mom is gonna buy you a looking glass. And if that looking glass gets broke, Papa's gonna buy you a billy goat. And if that billy goat won't pull, Papa's gonna buy you a curtain bull. And if that curtain bull turned over, Papa's gonna buy you a dog named Rover. And if that dog named Rover won't bark, Papa's gonna buy you a horse and cart. And if that horse and cart fall down, you'll still be the sweetest little baby in town. It's really hard to sing softly. Oh my god. Because you're trying to not have the... I'm trying anyway not to have my kind of, what would you call it? The resonance in my chest fall out. But if it does, then I just become whispering. It's like, and if that dog named Rover, it immediately goes. That's difficult. And I actually think I might be hearing things slightly louder to what you guys hear. So it kind of puts me off about being too loud. Like if I talk in my regular voice, how loud is that? That must be really loud. This isn't even in my regular voice. This is just you know, slightly quiet. This isn't that loud. Okay, that's good. I think I'm just gonna have to spend more time looking back at my thoughts and more tests. What's some good lullabies? Copyright. Thank you very much for the hydrate reading. I'm out of water, so I'm gonna grab some. dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken, and I hung my head and cried. And I hung my head and cried. It's so hard to do this quietly. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy, skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. This really isn't good to be doing on a scratchy voice with like tonsillitis or whatever it is I have. I'll always love you and make you happy if you will only say the same. But if you leave me and love another, you'll regret all someday. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You told me once, dear, you really loved me, that no one else could come between. But now you've left me and loved another. You have shattered all of my dreams. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are grey. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. It's definitely harder with singing quietly, it seems, because you can't put as much force into it. think I can sing some songs to you. I'm okay. It's difficult to sing quietly. Let me do one that I've been learning recently. I'm sorry for the thing. Well, I'm sorry for the things that I told you, but words only go so far. I think, but words only go so far. And if I had my way, I would reach into heaven and I'd pull you down a star. For a present, and I'd make you a chain out of diamonds and pearls from a summer sea. But all I can give you is a kiss in the morning and a sweet apology. I know I never showed you much of a good time. Baby, things are gonna change. Wait, what is that again? I'm gonna make up for all of the hurt I brought. I'm gonna love away all your pain. And tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day. Wait, no. And tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day. Oh no, I got mixed up. I now have the rhythm of Rocket Man in my mind. Where it's like, touchdown brings us back again to find I'm not the man I think I am at all. I'm a Rocket Man, but it's a different song. Hang on, let me pull up the lyrics. And tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day. There's gonna be some changes tomorrow. Gonna be a brighter day. This time you can believe me. No more crying in your lonely room. And no more empty nights. 'Cause tomorrow morning everything will turn out right. Well, there's something that I gotta tell you. Yes, I got something on my mind. But words come hard when you're lying in my arms or when I'm looking deep into your eyes. But there's truth and consolation of what I'm trying to say is that nobody ever had a rainbow, baby, until he had the rain. And tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day. There's gonna be some changes tomorrow. Gonna be a brighter day. This time you can believe me. No more crying in your lonely room. No more empty nights. 'Cause tomorrow morning everything will turn out right. Come on tomorrow. Come on tomorrow. Gonna be a brighter day. It's gonna be a brighter day. It's gonna be a brighter day. Oh god, that was bad. It's gonna be a brighter day. It's gonna be a brighter day. Come on tomorrow. Gonna be a brighter day. It's very difficult to do it quietly. You can't put any like power into it. It's weird. But I really love that song. It's amazing. It's by Jim Crochet, one of the greatest songwriters of all time, in my opinion. Operator, number please. It's been so many years. No wait, that's Tom Waits. That's Tom Waits. That's not Jim Crochet. I was thinking of his other song called Operator, where it's Operator, can you help me make this call? Something on a matchbook that's old and faded. Let me look it up. This has just become a... Why did I just download something that... Oh, I think I clicked something. Operator, Could you help me place this call? See the number on the... I put on my headphones for a second, just to hear how it sounded, to hear how the volume was, and it just completely threw me. See the number on the matchbook is old and faded. She's living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. A guy she said she knew well and sometimes hated. Isn't that the way they say it goes? But let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell him I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels. Operator, oh, could you help me place this call? 'Cause I can't read the number that you just gave me. There's something in my eyes, you know it happens every time. I think about the love that I thought would save me. Isn't that the way they say it goes? But let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I overcome the blow. I learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels. Oh no, no, no. That's not the way it feels. Operator, oh, let's forget about this call. There's no one I really wanted to talk to. Thank you for your time. Oh, you've been so much more than kind. You can keep the dime. Isn't that the way they say it goes? But let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I overcome the blow. I learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels. I promise, if I could do it with music, it might sound a little bit better. Okay, let me put back on my headphones so I can at least hear how I am. I wonder... Oh wait, let me test something real quick. Hello? Oh, wait. Okay. I should... Ooh. So I just enabled echo. Let me do something. There we go. Oh. Yes, it will be. Just realized something. You guys are gonna hear whenever I take a sip of water. Let me turn it down a little bit, the effect. Hang on. My sound went for a moment. Why did it go? Oh, okay. I figured it out. All good. some parchment. I think that would make some really nice sounds. I muted it while I went to go get something because I was like, what if something happens? Like, someone like shouts or something. I don't know. Okay, I think a pencil makes sound. No, I'm not. You don't know what I'm drawing. I was writing a few words, but I'm like, okay, I'll write some stuff. I don't know what to write. How do I? If I had something that would raise it up a little bit. Okay. You got me. I was thinking, hey. I was trying to make like signature sounds. Can you hear that? It's a little awkward because if I don't want to do like zigzaggy stuff, I have to kind of lift it up a little more. Signatures are basically yeah, that's very true. Don't even try to read a doctor or a lawyer's signature. It's not gonna happen. When a doctor has nice handwriting, you don't trust them. You're right in that it's unreasonable, but I think I'm gonna start doing that as well. I'm gonna swap over to a pen this year if that sounds any different. excuse me. I had to cough. Hmm, I think so as well. The pen is lighter. Or say the pencil is lighter. I'm tapping the copybook I'm holding. If I was hitting you, it would sound like this. Oh, excuse me. My voice is really starting to annoy me now. Every time I lift up my glass of water, the coaster comes with it and it falls. Ugh. There's just like this little area in my throat where it's like it's just ever so slightly scratched. It feels I just want to cough to clear it. Oh. Wow. Cough it out. It's kind of gone now, thankfully. That last one was kind of real. It's very hard to write, like just holding it in the air. That's why I'm kind of doing zigzags mostly. Like I can write, but it's very awkward. I tried to do like a Ruadh liquid signature. It didn't work. It's just a lot of squiggles. But I guess as long as you do the same signature every time, I think it works out. I don't know how it works, or how people in like fantasies read the signatures. That really does sound like just a scissors. now is probably a good time to end it. Because this is about 20 to 2 at night. I'd like to try streaming a little earlier sometime. Good night. Thank you for showing up. I think, let me see if there's anyone I would enjoy to read into. Anyone who's doing ASMR. There is we can try and write into someone called Yassad Hora. She is a French streamer, actually, and I don't believe she speaks English, but I do really enjoy her ASMR. I think I just like the French language in ASMR, you know. It's very nice. So we might read into her. I think that would be. Oh, I hit the wrong button. I hit clip, not raid. I would have a random clip. It's just pointless. Hey, Haru, you joined right when I was going to end. Okay, okay, we're staying alive for another while. Hello, Haru. How are you? Haru, you. How are you? Haru. How are you? Haru. You're sick of. Oh, I was sick of too. Well, I still am. I have a cough and a bit of a throat illness. I was much worse yesterday, but I'm a bit better now. That sucks though. I hope you feel better soon. Okay? Feel better soon, Haru. Feel better soon. Feel better soon. Feel better. Feel better. Sick gang. Yeah. We beat our enemies by making them sick too. so many troopers are sick. Now you need more drown check. Drown check. That's a tasteful drown check right there. You can hear it deep. Thank you, Haru. Thank you, Haru. Thank you, Haru. Actually, there was one trigger that I know some people like that I'm considering doing. Well, I suppose it might be good. Heartbeat ASMR. I was thinking about it earlier, but I was doing something else. So let's try it. Hello. Oh no. Oh no. Spider raid. Oh, welcome raiders. Hello. Wait. Aragoni. Thank you so much for the raid. I'm glad I didn't end the stream because I was going to about 2 minutes ago. Welcome in everyone. My name is Ruadh. Spiders. I know they're scary. They're all over my stream now. There's thousands of them. Well, actually, there's How many? 42. There's 42 of them. They're all over me. Ah, help. 24-hour stream, let's go. Oh wait, that would be scary. I've never done past like 4 hours. No, not 48. You're increasing it. You doubled it. If this keeps going, I'll be there for like, no, stop it. Stop it. That's 3 days. I haven't even done. This is like one of the few 3-hour streams I've done in my life. 100 hours. Haru, please. Haru. You're all gonna kill me. Thank you for the follow, Arago means. Statesman Primal. Excuse me, everyone. Double it and give it to the next person. Okay, I'll tag it one of my friends, and they'll have to stream for 284 hours. Stop. I'm a professional streamer, guys. All the fucking times for me to forget to mute my phone. Oh, it's during a time when I have a stream or a raid, a big raid, like one of my first. Well, thank you everyone for joining me. You guys are phone nerds. Or like, I'm sorry I don't have an Apple or like I don't know, Nokia. Did you guys have Nokia Blockias when you were younger? I did. I had it. Was my first phone. It was really good. I love playing Snake. Apple is overrated. Exactly, Usha Rose. I've literally never used an Apple phone. Android on top. But I forgot to mute it. Oops. It's a shell phone. I don't know what that is. I'm not a phone person. I'm gonna be honest. I know there's brands, but like, if I need a phone, I'll grab one. But I suppose. Wait, no, I forgot to say it. I should probably introduce myself. My name is Ruadh. I am a Irish Fiannan warrior, half human, half Tuatha. I'd like to thank you all for joining me. Your voice is so comfy. Thank you so much, Aragoni. You caught me just as I was about to do some happy ASMR. Literally, you rated it as I was lifting the mic. So, I might do that in a moment or two. But I'm glad you liked the mic. I hope your stream went well. And if you can't stick around for too long, I hope you go get some food or whatever you do to relax. And if you would like to stick around, you're more than welcome. To all of you who have joined, welcome as well. I don't do too much ASMR. I'm still getting used to it, like proper ASMR, I would say, and trying to figure out how to use the 3DO properly. But one of my main content is reading ASMR. We've read quite a few books so far. My primary thing is philosophy and history. So currently we've been reading about Philip II of Macedonia, the father of Alexander the Great. We've read a book about philosophy, about the philosophy of mind. We've read about the Middle Ages. And who else did we read? We read, I can't remember who we read as well before, but we've read about 4 or 5 books. And it's just a nice way for me to relax, and I hope anyone who's interested in those types of topics also enjoys. But I guess maybe some of you will enjoy Heartbeat ASMR. as if the sound disappears suddenly. Either my 3DO has turned into a spying hardware because I can hear my neighbors, or I have to cough. I'm a little bit sick at the moment, but it's all good. So let's try heartbeat. Did you run? No, I'm just nervous. And this was the first big raid I've gone, and it took me by surprise. Welcome in, Kwai. How are you? I woke up 2 hours ago. I fell asleep to your eyes. It's nice to hear, Kwai. Oh no, they're going at it again in chat. Haru, Colin, Kwai, Oni-san. trying to figure out if I clear my throat and get rid of this grumbly sound or not. Okay, no, it's actually getting. Hang on. Okay, there we go. It's clear again. Ooh. But I'm probably going to instruct soon because it is 2 o'clock in the morning and I probably need to go to sleep in a little bit. I'm still mad over that Android sound from my phone going off. Because I clearly didn't have it on mute. All stream, all 3+ hours of stream, and it never made noise. It never made a single goddamn noise. And then, right after I get a raid, it makes a big old noise. It makes two big old noises. It's perfect timing, but it was funny. But yeah, it's getting close to 2 a.m. So I should probably get to sleep, because it probably wouldn't be good for me to be up too late. Otherwise, I would struggle to wake up at a reasonable time. So, let me see if there's anyone to raid. If anyone has any recommendations. Is there anyone doing ASMR in my immediate friendship? suppose I'd like to thank all of you for joining me today. And I will see you guys next time. Maybe an early stream tomorrow. I'm not too sure. I might try and play something